Hi Capricorn, happy birthday and welcome back to the Astrology 33 channel. Hope you guys are having a good holiday season and have a good new year as well. This is your January 2023 tarot reading. Thank you to those of you who've liked, viewed, shared, and subscribed to the channel. I appreciate all of that. And for those of you new to the channel, as far as what we have in front of us, it's a Celt crossword as always, and also pulled the 4 agreements, wisdom, oracle, and Mudra card for you guys. We're actually going to start the reading off by rolling those astrology dice we have in front of us to get an idea of where your folks should be as far as that goes. Alright, well we have Pluto, and Pluto's actually been in your sign for quite some time, so not too surprising to see that pop up. We have 3, so third house is actually, for you guys that's Pisces, and generally speaking, third house represents communication, short distance journeys, siblings. And speaking of communication, there's going to be Mercury retrograde for the first few weeks of January in your sign, so I could see where communication could definitely be an important theme for this month. And we also have Leo. Leo energy for you guys is your 8th house, which usually points to death, rebirth, intimacy, taxes, and I do see some Leo energy in your spread as well, so we'll keep that in mind too. Alright, so fold out of the way, we'll get started. In the main situation position, we have the 7 of Swords, and challenging that, we have the Queen of Cups. So Aquarius energy here, Cancer energy here. I feel like this is saying like you might feel like there's some deception at play when it comes to your finances, but I feel like for whatever reason you're holding back on speaking on it. So, alright, just a couple of generic ways it could be playing out, right? Let's say you're in a couple with someone and you guys maybe share expenses, but you have a weird feeling that they're holding back some finances from you, right? That's one way it could be playing out. This could also be in a workplace, right? Where you might feel like for the work you're putting in, you feel like you're not compensated fairly as far as that goes, right? But I feel like this is shown up as a challenge here to say that by not speaking up about it, it could be making the situation a little bit worse, you know? All right. In the foundation position, we have the 2 of Pentacles. So yeah, seeing this here in the foundation, this is actually a Capricorn card as well. It could just be saying that maybe you actually need some additional help too, right? So whether it be financial assistance of some kind or just help, let's say if it's even not necessarily directly related to finances, but if you're with someone and you need them to chip in more around the house, right? Because maybe you're overwhelmed with work related things and you're like, hey, could really use your help around the house, right? It could be as simple as that. But again, I feel like there's a little bit of hesitancy on your part to speak up around it. All right. Past energy, we have the Empress and the 6 of Swords. So interesting energies to see here. Well, again, we have Aquarius energy, but also with the Empress here, I feel like this is saying that you might have actually spent some time just being in a much more receptive mode, right? So maybe you were waiting for things to come your way, and after a while you might have decided that that wasn't necessarily getting you the results that you wanted to, so you decided to be more proactive around the situation. And if there were some kind of conflicts as well, you might have decided to withdraw from those conflicts and wait for them to be resolved. All right, present position, we have a few cards. We have the 6 of Wands, Leo energy, 9 of Swords, Gemini energy, and 5 of Cups, Scorpio energy. Yeah, seeing these 3 cards here, I feel like this is saying another indicator to me that I feel like you're presenting on the surface like everything's fine, but I feel like this is saying that you could use some help around the situation. Now, seeing this Gemini energy in particular reminds me of the fact that you guys have had Mars retrograde in Gemini for quite some time, and that's your house of work, daily routines, health, right? So maybe you could have been going through some low energy cycles because of that. If that's the case, keep in mind it will actually end the retrograde around the middle of January, finally. So that could have a shift there as well. But yeah, could just be saying that if you might have felt like things got stagnant within your workplace too, right? Where like if you were expecting more progress, just keep in mind that that could have been slowing things down in that regard too. So they could be temporary things, but yeah, the first thing that really does come to mind with these cards though is that you're presenting like everything's fine, kind of what I was saying there with like the not speaking up around the situation, but really it looks like you could use some help around the situation. All right, in the near future position, we have the Emperor, Aries energy, and the Knight of Cups, Pisces energy. So yeah, I feel like this is saying that for a lot of you, actually, if this is your energy here, you will actually decide to be a bit more vulnerable and speak up around what's going on with you, right? Which does seem like it would be a beneficial thing, whatever the situation's related to, whether it be finances or, like I said, needing help around the house, whatever the case may be. And if this is someone that you've been dealing with as well, could this be saying that they might actually be a bit more open with you this month? So if there's been a bit of a stalemate energy between you and someone else, you could see some movement there too. All right, in the position of your influence on the situation, we have the Five of Wands. So this is Leo energy here, and it can point to some conflict, of course, but I feel like this is more of a precautionary thing. I feel like I was saying, as far as if there's something you've been holding back. Sometimes you can hold back on something with good intentions initially, but then eventually it does bubble up to the surface, and usually when it does, after it's been held back for a long time, it comes out sometimes more aggressively than you intended to, right? So that could just be a bit more of a precautionary message for you guys there. Especially, like I said, we will have the Mercury retrograde going on in your sign, right? So it could just be one of those things where it'd be best to be more measured with how you come across, because there's at least a chance of misunderstandings regardless of the Mercury retrograde. All right, in the environment position, we have the High Priestess. So this could be saying a couple of different things. It could be saying that for you, the key might be to really just tune in, trust your intuition a little bit, and that could give you some guidance on how to move around the situation. But if this is someone you're dealing with as well, like I was saying, maybe if they were more in an Emperor energy, this could be another indicator that they will be softening up, right? They might not be super proactive and maybe not even very expressive with you, but I feel like this is saying they will be tuned in, they will be listening, they will pick up on what you're feeling. So this isn't really an aggressive energy at all. So if there is something you do have to get off your chest, this isn't a good indicator that it will go well. All right, in the hopes or fears position, we have the Tower. So yeah, I'm going to assume this is probably a fear for most of you, right? And that could be why you've been holding back on speaking on this for so long, for belief that maybe that if you did, this could be the outcome, right? That hey, if I express my displeasure around the situation, it could bring the whole thing down, right? Like I said, given the overall energies of the reading, I don't really feel like that would be the case, but we mentioned some transits that could point to why you might have been feeling that way. All right, and in the outcome position, we have the Moon. So yeah, at the time of recording this, we haven't had that new moon in your sign just yet. And then, of course, in January itself, we'll have the full moon in Cancer, which is your opposite sign. We see the Cancer energy there. And then also later in the month, we'll have a new moon in Aquarius, which is your second house of finances, and we see some Aquarius energy in your chart too. So yeah, definitely be on the lookout for some significant information to come your way during those cycles. All right, and at the bottom of the deck, we have the Five of Swords. So yeah, overall, given what I'm seeing, I don't really necessarily see deception in your environment. Again, I feel like this is just more of a bit of a warning thing, right? Like, you'd be totally in the right to address whatever situation you're dealing with, but I feel like it's just more pointing to just try to be careful around the way you go about it. That's all. So I feel like most of this is largely avoidable. Really, five energies are pretty intense and not the smoothest energies in general, but I'm really getting just the overall vibe of the reading that it is avoidable stuff, though. All right, moving on to your Four Agreements card, we have be impeccable with your word, and it says manifest your true intentions. Okay, it says regardless of what language you speak, your intent will manifest through the word. What you dream, what you feel, and what you really are will be manifested through the word. So yeah, definitely an interesting message to get, especially given what we were saying with Mercury retrograde being in your sign, right? But the way it says regardless of what language you speak, I also feel like that's the way it's coming across to me, at least in the context of this reading too, is to say that the words, yeah, they'll have weight to them, but also I feel like this is saying that people will pick up on the intention behind them, right? So, like I said, if there's something you've been holding back for a long time, right, but you try to play it off like everything's fine, especially given that we see a high priestess energy in the environment, I think this is saying that they would pick up on something's not right, but I feel like that's saying that they wouldn't necessarily confront you on it, right? They'd be like, okay, well, apparently they're not ready to talk, right? So that might be how they perceive it, as opposed to, kind of nudging you to get you to speak up. They might just say, "Oh, well, I guess whatever is going on with Capricorn, and I'm ready to speak about it right now." So that could be another indicator that it could just continue and continue if that's what you're open for them to just pick up on it and ask you. All right, moving on to your Wisdom Oracle. We have Between Worlds. There's the artwork, and the number is 3. So we'll see what this has to say. It'd be pretty natural if you're feeling that energy in general too, even just astrologically speaking, as we move out of Sagittarius season and into Capricorn season. So a lot of those energies that are in your 12th house be moving into your first house. So even if you've gone through a bit of a dark period, right, and now as all of the energy moves into your sign, you could feel much lighter energy there with that. All right, essential meaning says transitions, not being quite out of one situation and fully engaged in another, temporary blindness, no man's land. The oracle's message. Between the worlds is where you must let go of the tendency to make assumptions. This is a time when you are unable to see what is ahead. Cultivate curiosity and trust the process of change and growth. You are done learning the lessons of recent experiences. In this place, between what was and what will be, is a state of making and unmaking and making again. What is essential now is to admit not knowing. There is great freedom and power to be unleashed. A mystery that is not yours to understand weaves the web of life within the divine matrix of consciousness greater than your own thoughts, feelings, beliefs, desires, and decisions. The seeds that were planted in the past begin to take root, but what surfaces will probably not be what you expect. When you are between the worlds, you are invited to see with the curious eyes of a child glimpsing a rainbow for the first time. Do so, and you will not be disappointed. So yeah, definitely a pretty positive message there. Pretty long message, but hopefully that resonated. The relationship message says this is a time to explore the new energy between you and another. It is not a moment for certainty, but rather for discovery and curiosity. You don't yet know if it will last forever, so allow yourself to explore who you are and what is reflected back to you. This relationship is meant to educate you about yourself. What do you need? What do you like or dislike? What values are important to you? You are in a critical phase of your relationship that is not to be dismissed or hurried. So yeah, definitely an interesting message there, right? So again, like I said, a generic example, if you feel like the person you're with, if you'd like them to contribute more around the house, but they're not getting the hint or something like that, right? Could just be saying that, learning that you might feel like you need someone who could pick up on that, right? Be more intuitive, or you need someone who's more expressive, right? If you feel like they're kind of holding back from you, not speaking up around how they're feeling. Things that could be some ways it's playing out. Hopefully that resonated. The prosperity message says, in your work, sometimes you try things that have worked for others, hoping that you too will be successful. When this symbol appears, it reminds you that sometimes the path to your prosperity is a gamble. Win or lose, you can learn much from what comes of your wager. It's a good time to bet on your skills and talents in new and different arenas. Remain curious, and with the right combination of timing and luck, you will stumble upon something golden that will be unlike anything you've known before. So yeah, that'll be a pretty positive message there as well. Hopefully that resonated. And lastly, we have a mudra for you guys. This is your mudra here. It's the Manipura Chakra mudra, and the keyword for it is willpower. Let's see if we get that to focus. Here we go. Got everything in the frame. So if you want to pause it or take a screenshot to read the whole message, you can. But under benefits, it says strengthens digestion, improves the health of the liver, gallbladder, spleen, stomach, pancreas, and small and large intestine, bolsters willpower, improves martial ability, increases personal magnetism. So if that sounds like a mudra you think would be beneficial for you guys, we'll put the name in the description video as always. Once again, happy birthday to you guys, and hope we have a good holiday season and New Year. And I'll see you all next month. All right, bye.